Ever since I uploaded Angela, I knew that I wanted my next short film to be massive, to be ambitious, and somehow managed to do that while being really cheap, which we managed to do. But one of the things I came up with that I am still shocked that I managed to pull off was burning the house down at the end of the film. There were a lot of ideas that I had. At one point, I was absolutely certain I was going to make a model version of the house and burn that for real. And then I was going to see if I could hire someone to do the visual effects at one point. And there were just all these ideas that I was sprouting out of random places to figure out how in the hell am I going to set our house on fire? And how am I going to do it quickly? Because we had to leave. You know, we were moving as we were filming this thing. We were like, oh my gosh, I've started filming this ages ago and now it's come time to move houses and it's not done. So we're like, we got to get this done fast. So I had to figure out how I was going to do it. And I didn't figure out how I was going to make the visual effects work until after we moved. I just didn't have time to figure it out. And so it was just like, how are we going to do this? So, but to start it off, we had to actually film the footage. And that I was able to get done before we moved. And I wanted to talk a little bit about how that worked and what that was like. And it was actually, I think in August of 2022, when we re-picked up production after a long break, the first thing that we filmed was me running out of the house and the light of the fire flashing on my face. And that was the first thing that we filmed. And basically, it was actually really simple and really funny. Like, it was hard to keep a straight face because it was really funny what was going on behind the camera. We got this really bright light and we hooked it on a music stand because both of my parents are cello teachers. We brought a music stand outside, hooked it on the music stand, and then my parents are just going like this in front of the light. And it was hilarious. And that was, but for some reason I didn't film any behind the scenes in the moment. So I'm making this now after the fact to just talk about how it was done because it's one of my favorite parts of the movie. And so yeah, it's just them doing this in front of it. And if you look closely in the background, zoom in the background, in the windows of the house behind me, you can see it. You can see them doing it. You can actually see them doing this with the light. It's so funny. And I didn't realize it until my parents noticed it after I posted the short film on YouTube. That's when I realized, oh my God, you can see them in the background. It's so funny to me. I think that's just hilarious. I'm so happy that's in there. I love little things like that. They're like another mistake that I love is when I jump off the roof and my hair is all like this, and then in the next shot it's all like this. It's just, that stuff cracks me up because, like, who cares? It's fine. It's an inconsistency. That's fine. So yeah, they were just doing this. And then I just turned the saturation up and turned the whole, all the footage orange. And there, boom, there's the first aspect of making fire was just that simple little trick. And I think it turned out okay. I don't think it's that bad. You know, it's no like anything crazy, but I think it's okay. So then came the time to think about how I was going to do the visual effects so I could actually show the house burning down. That's the trick. And as I said, I didn't figure it out until we moved. And I didn't think I was going to be able to post this short film until like this summer. And then all of a sudden, I found these two apps on my phone. One was free and one was $7 to get rid of the watermark. And I used those apps and boom, fire. And I'm gonna walk you through how I did it because I'm very proud. Now, the visual effects are not anything amazing by any means, but they're suitable. They work for a short film that had a budget of $0. I spent money on it because I had to, but a budget of nothing. No budget. I'm not making money off of it. So like, who cares if the visual effects aren't bad? Like, I made it for fun. That's why I made it. And I think it's pretty damn good for something that I just made for fun. So the first app that I used is called Magic Lab. And I'll tell you about the second one, which had the much better visual effects in it later. But the first app was Magic Lab. And the effects from it are not that good. Like, I'm very glad I found the app, because what I needed was an app that could allow me to put fire effects over video for cheap. And I definitely got what I paid for. Because it doesn't look that great, but it's suitable, as I said before. I couldn't do it with the other app because the other app that I used for every other shot could only work on still images. That's the only way that I could use that app. And I needed these shots of the demon flailing around on the floor with fire over it. So I found this app, and what I did was I actually shrunk the video down really small so the fire effect could be as big as possible. And then I placed it in the right position, and boom, saved it, zoomed in. There you go. There's the effects of the demon getting caught on fire. And while it doesn't look great, I'm still happy with it. Now time came to do the really hard stuff. The actual shots of the house on fire. The big wide shot from outside with all the windows burning and just fire everywhere, and the shot of the demon as it zooms out and you just see fire everywhere. How was I gonna do that? Well, the answer is an app called Warble. And it can only use still images. So I took screenshots from all the footage that I did, and what you're able to do is you're able to put these in there, and I only had to pay $7 to get rid of the watermark, and boom, there it was. So you're able to add all sorts of effects. There's a free pack that has 2 fire effects already in it and 2 smoke effects in it, and I just used those. I flipped them back and forth. I flip some upside down just to get as many variations of it as possible without having to spend money. And so what I did was I took these effects and I shrunk them down or enlarged them and put them in various spots around the shot. And then later I went in and I added animation to some of the shots to make them a little more visually interesting so that they weren't all just completely still. And that's what I did for the big wide shot, which was this shot. And I used every single asset that you're allowed to use for that shot. Every last thing that you can put into one image at a time, I used all of it, trying to get the shot as cool as I could. And luckily, I was able to do it. I mean, I love that shot so much. I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of that shot. And so I just shrunk all of the assets really small. And if you zoom in, they don't fit the windows. Like, they don't fit the actual windows. And you can tell that it's not from the inside, it's actually pasted on the outside of the windows. Like, you can tell, but that's okay, that's okay. So that's how I did it. I used Warble, and Warble is my savior. Seriously, and the funny thing is, I had released the teaser trailer before I had figured out how to do the effects. And then and that's why I put in the teaser trailer coming eventually, because I had no idea when I was going to actually be able to finish it. And then a few days later, boom, came up with a way to do it. And there it is. And then I released the trailer saying, okay, spring break, but I'm gonna release it. And now it's out in the world and everyone can see it. I'm so happy. So that is how I made Fire.